At lasting relief. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been around since 1985. Jax has trusted John's Auto, whether you need routine maintenance or an engine overhaul. John's Auto, they can do it all. We service all makes and models of cars and trucks and even work on diesels. I've been visiting them since I returned to Jacksonville in 2006. Check them out today. John's Auto on Arlington Road, 904-743-3857.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Spicklemeyer Insurance Agency. I was paying too much for car insurance, paying for things I didn't need. My friend John Spicklemeyer fixed all that for me with impeccable customer service. For all your car insurance needs, call John at 471-7155.
Pest control here in Florida can be quite the pain, but not if you have the right company. Frank Frangie here for Orange Environmental Services, Jacksonville's highest quality pest control for over 45 years. I've trusted Orange Environmental to take care of our home's pest control needs for years. If you have residential or commercial lawn care or pest control needs, call Orange Environmental today at 272-3284. Orange Environmental, giving Northeast Florida peace of mind from bug problems since 1972. And they can take care of your mosquito and termite issues as well. Orange Environmental, 272-3284.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner. With honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
With your home value up again, you are sitting on a pile of money. Don't just let it sit there. Use it. Hey, it's Prosser here for my friends at Loan Pronto. Introducing Loan Pronto's Equity Line of Credit program. You don't have to refinance, but you can access up to 97% of your home's value. Get cash now to pay off all your credit cards or do that home improvement project. Get your down payment for a new home or stash away for a safety net. You can get $50,000, even $100,000 or more out of your home, and the payments are crazy low. Think what you can do with $100,000 right now. Loan Pronto makes unlocking your equity easy, and they can probably even waive the appraisal fee. Don't let all the home equity pile up. Turn your house into an ATM machine and get the cash you need. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. You can also reach Loan Pronto at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Northern Tool and Equipment. A loaded schedule of college football games kicks off tomorrow night. A couple of ranked opponents playing tomorrow evening. Number 12, Oklahoma State. They will host Central Michigan at 7 o'clock. It's the Backyard Brawl. Number 17, Pittsburgh, hosting West Virginia, 7 o'clock. Number 22, Wake Forest, will host VMI at 7:30. Other games in college football tomorrow night. UCF gets their season underway against South Carolina State in Orlando, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And the Tennessee Volunteers up on Rocky Top. They get things going tomorrow night against Ball State, 7 o'clock kickoff on SEC Network. and Purdue hosting Penn State 8 o'clock on Fox. Right now, 75 degrees at 6:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It is nasty outside. I mean, just brutal. Imagine living in this crap. Imagine being out in Portland or Seattle or one of those places. Some people like the rain. To me, it's miserable. It is. You know, outside of the we need it, you know, for the lawn, but for crying out loud, man, my lawn right now looks like Augusta. It's incredible with all the rain we've had. But anyway, that is that. Enough complaining as far as Mother Nature. And I'm saying that because I love it here. Yeah, we get rains, but they're typically showers. You know, they come and they go, and they come and they go. But this one today has been just incredibly brutal. Raining sideways at some points. I really did a lot of traveling throughout the great city today of Jacksonville. All right, nonetheless, the Jags, wow. And this is why Trent Baalke makes the big dollars. This is why Doug Peterson makes the big dollars. And everyone over in that building, this is why they get paid, because they see things that we don't. They get a feel for things that, honestly, we don't have a feel for. We went through a litany of names a night ago. Jacksonville's going in this direction. Jacksonville's going in that direction. I thought they would add 3 players. I knew that there was one thing that would happen when the waiver wire appeared today. Jacksonville would cut one of their 2 kickers. I mean, for $1 million, I never would have believed that they would have cut both kickers today. I mean, that is a shock to me. And, you know, I've done some reading. I've gone out and, you know, got the very latest and what is there that we can expect now out of Riley Patterson. Played a year ago in Detroit. He was, 13 of 14. The early reports out of him this year in training camp is that he struggled in touchbacks. He was only 3 of 7. Matthew Wright, 21 of 24 a year ago. Matthew Wright, jettisoned by this organization. The reason, we all knew it, cannot hit the end zone. Can't create touchbacks. You don't want Logan Cook to be the guy who was kicking off. So Jacksonville now has gone through 5 kickers. Enter kicker number 6 in Riley Patterson. And just like I did with the previous 5 kickers, honestly, I wish him the very best. I hope he's able to stick. I hope he's able to make his kicks. But if it's the same scenario where he cannot kick off and you add a guy with the consistency of Matthew Wright, who was here a year ago. Wright missed, I think it was a 47, 48-yarder. He missed 2 kicks between 50 and 59 yards. I mean, he was perfect, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and again, he missed 1, 40 to 50. He was 21 of 24. There's way too much conversation about a kicker, okay? I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make. This team won 3 games a year ago, and I'm starting the freaking program talking about the 6th kicker that's been here. And you got a game in 11 days. That smells to me. There's no other way for me to say it, okay? It smells. Now, I hope they get it right. There's an Ocala kid. You know that? He's out of Vanguard High School. Is that what you patrolled?
No, that's actually our tribe. I'm a Forest guy.
All right, you beat up anyone from Vanguard
I have a friend. We've gotten in fights. He went to Vanguard. Absolutely. I would say I got the best of him.
Did you put anyone 6 feet under, like someone from Ocala did 3 years ago to Whitey Bulger? We just found that out.
Plead the fifth.
In the West Virginia penitentiary. I want to get away from the kicker, okay? I do, but what's going on around here? Seriously. I feel like I have been bragging and bragging and bragging about everything that this organization has done. And don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, it is night and day from a year ago. This is a far better staff. This is a more talented football team. They have a chance to really turn this thing around. And, it was so evident, as we talked about yesterday. You go back to that press conference on Tuesday, character was mentioned. It seemed like every 10th word by Trent Baalke. Character is important. You need to change the culture. You need to change the identity of this football team. And it appears that they are doing that. And for the record, during free agency and during the draft, and I was over there for every one of those, introduction scenarios where they would have a press conference. He's dead on. And sometimes I understand camera on, camera off. You don't know what I'm talking about. Google Phil Mickelson. All right, guys act differently when they know that the media is around. But I came in after all of those press conferences to my particular show on that particular day, and I was like, wow. This kid's got it. He's got a football IQ. He reeks of being a very good team football player. It doesn't feel like there's going to be any issues there. So, that's a conversation which we'll absolutely explore a little bit later on in the season. This is I just called it a great city. It is a great city. It also has a small town feel to it, okay? And this is a one-horse town. The Jaguars are everything here. And my point is, look at the roster in 96 when they went to an AFC championship game. Look at the roster in 99 when they went to an AFC championship game. Look at the roster in 2017 when they went to an AFC championship game. The 53 men in the locker room, not all of them were gentlemen who would grab an old lady by the hand and walk her across the street. You also need some bad assery in your locker room. And hopefully that does translate to the football field. I like what they're doing, okay? I'm buying in, but I also want a little bit of nasty. And we'll see if that's coming up as early as 11 days. All right, so the kicking situation, really don't know what to tell you about that. We'll see what happens. Again, this is kicker number 6 for the Jaguars. They cut 2 today. All right. Will Richardson, little surprised by this transaction. Okay. It leaves the Jaguars with 8 offensive linemen. It's been crystal clear that when they made the trade for Cole Van Lanen, they have 8 that they really trust. You're going to get your starting 5, and Doug Peterson yesterday says he knows who the right tackle is. He will not tell us. I believe it's Juwan Taylor. All right, I believe that Ben Barch holds on to left guard. So there's your starting 5. That leaves you now Van Lanen. It leaves you Shatley and Little as 3 backups. That's 8. I think you're okay there. All right, they have an opportunity to add 6 more guys. They've added, I think, 10 right now on the practice squad. They have an opportunity to bring in 6 more. So we'll go through that a little bit later on. But I absolutely fully do believe that and I know there's a couple offensive linemen on there now. I would expect 4 out of the 16 when it's all said and done. Still, surprised by just saying goodbye to Will Richardson, because you could have placed him on the injured reserve, and the injured reserve would have been 4 games because he made the actual 53-man roster. If you were to cut him yesterday before 4, he would have been gone for the entire season. And I looked up the cap situation, and he's still actually listed on the roster, so I'll give you some of those particulars. Now, a few things have gone through today, because yesterday we gave you the cap number here in Jacksonville at about $10.7 million. I see today that it has dropped to $4.5 million remaining on the salary cap, and yesterday it was $29 million and some change as far as dead money that they are paying out this year. That has now increased to $30,370,000. So, some has gone through, but these totals obviously are nowhere near final. The only reason why I say that is by next Tuesday, you got to be under the cap. You got to be under the $208 million. It's $208,200,000, 208.2. So you got to have your 53-man roster under that. You also have to have your 16 practice squad players under that. And, right now, according to overthecap.com, the Jaguars still have about $4.5 million to play with. I don't think that gives them the opportunity to go out and pay for a guy who has been released, all right? For instance, you look at Will Richardson. If he gets picked up by another team, he will get to choose that team because this is year 5 for Richardson. He's played 4 years here in Jacksonville. Those accrued seasons allows him to pick any team that he desires, of course, if in fact they want him. For instance, Jay Tufele today, picked up by Cincinnati. He didn't get that opportunity because it was year 2 for Tufele. So he was cut yesterday. He goes on with the Cincinnati Bengals. They claimed him off of the waiver wire. All 5 players that Jacksonville claimed today came off the waiver wire. We're going to go through them. All right. They had a kicker we talked about. They got themselves a running back. They got themselves a wide receiver. They got themselves an off-the-ball linebacker, and they got themselves a safety. There's one thing that these 4 all have in common outside of the kicker. They're very good in special teams. Okay? And I'm going to take a guess right now, JJ, and say they're also of high character. Okay?
Good locker room guys.
Yes.
First and last out.
So there you have it. I'm just blown away by this. Again, I predicted 3, and I thought it would be 1 kicker. I thought it would be Will Richardson going to IR, even though Trent Baalke yesterday told us that wasn't the case. All right, and I thought it might have been a little bit of gamemanship, and clearly it was not. They let him go today. I do wonder if they were going to do what they did this afternoon, why they didn't keep Jay Tufele on their 53-man roster. To me, that is a little bizarre. So that is one move that I certainly do question. And, how cruel is the league? Not Jacksonville, but the league. If yesterday, you're Josh Thompson and you make the 53, you're an undrafted free agent, you've got to be absolutely elated. And then
you call your family.
Right. You call
friends,
everyone. And
you're having a drink to celebrate.
16 hours later, you're gone. I remember the one year, it was a year that Florida State's Lonnie Pryor made the Jaguars. I want to say it was Gus Bradley, either his first year or second year. They made 8 transactions right after they went to the 53-man roster. I mean, they made 8. Today, Jacksonville makes 5. So I didn't see that coming. I thought there would have been 3. Again, kicker. I thought they would have put Richardson on the IR. And then I thought they would have gotten rid of a position player. Actually, a little bit surprised they peddled Jameer Jones. I like him. I think he's a good football player. But this is the decision that Jacksonville has made. They also let go. I guess that's it. Both kickers, Jones, Richardson, and Thompson. So they're down to 53. And again, the 5 that they signed today, the way that the NFL rules apply, all 5 of them are now on the Jaguars' active 53-man roster. That's safety, Tyree Gillespie, running back, JaMychal Hasty, kicker, Riley Patterson, wide receiver, Kendrick Pryor, and linebacker, Ty Summers. They are in. All right, we got a lot to do. It's good to have you with us. We're very, very, very busy. You kidding me? one of those Wednesdays around here where we are absolutely going to be jam-packed. Tim Brando coming up a little bit later on the program. Tim's got double billing, I believe, Friday and Saturday, so we're going to squeeze him in tonight. Talk some college football with Timmy B. Of course, he's based out of Louisiana. You know, he's going to have a lot to say about the Bayou Bengals. So we'll talk to him about Florida State, Louisiana State. We'll talk to him about the Gators. You know, I was reading something earlier this week that the Gators have only opened up with 2 ranked teams in their history in the Swamp. And I guess they did 1 game on the road at Michigan State, or maybe it was a neutral site. But this is kind of new for Florida. You know, typically they open up with a cupcake. That is not going to be the case. So that's coming up a little bit later on with Tim Brando. The Philly Godfather's coming up in 20 minutes. We're going to take a look at totals for Florida State, Florida, and Miami. Season-long totals. We'll do the Jaguars with him next week. We're also going to look at the money between FSU, LSU, and Florida, Utah. So that's coming up around 6:40. John Osher at 7 o'clock. He will join me for even more on the Jaguars. Opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Dr. Neil Shmunez, talking about more than 37 years worth of experience right here in Duval. Family organization. They focus on personal, high-quality medical, surgical eye care. I had surgery in my right eye more than 8 years ago. They went in there, fixed it. There's been no issues, no problems. I see fine every time I visit. It's healthy, and it's all good. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery, all refractive surgery. That's 30 years worth of laser eye surgery experience. Maybe these 6 kickers who have come and gone, maybe they could have gone for laser eye surgery, for crying out loud. And change your contacts, people. The tip I always get from them is contacts should be like your drawers. You don't sleep in your drawers, right? Or if you do sleep in your drawers, you change them the next day. You absolutely cannot do that to your contacts. It is bad for your eyes. And that's the bottom line. Visit ShmunezVision.com or give them a call, 299-2906. Shmunez Vision Care, you can see. Best way to get us, text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. JJ is here. My name is Rick Ballou. Let's go into the night.
Get more Jaguars coverage from Jacksonville's sports superstation.
There it is. Jags on 3, baby. 1, 2, 3, Jags!
1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Ballou here for Shmunez Vision. Why Shmunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Shmunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Shmunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Shmunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit ShmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
When Smart Tools give you control, you own it. When you're confident in your decisions, you own it. When you're sure someone's got your back, you own it. At Community First Credit Union, you can own it all. With free digital banking, fewer fees, and a team that's ready to help, you're in control of your money so you can live your life your way. Go ahead and own it. Add an account today at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Are you considering improvements to the exterior of your home but dreading the pushy salesman with amazing discounts? Then don't. Call Kohler Homes instead. We provide an honest consultation, then pinpoint the best window no matter who the manufacturer. If you fall for the pressure sale, then you limit your options. Don't be rushed into that contract with a pretty discount. Let the consultants at Kohler Homes help you make the right choice. So visit KohlerHomesInc.com for all your window, door, painting, and siding needs, or give us a call at 904-580-3777 to schedule your free consultation today.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer. sprinkler. Buy a dozen, get a dozen free. That's the special Kuhn Flowers is now offering as they celebrate their 75th anniversary. For a limited time only, get a dozen assorted roses, just $74.95. And get another dozen absolutely free. Call now, Kuhn Flowers.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville. A smile on his face says, you have gone electric. This is something new. What's going on?
It is new, and it's really cool. We've got some Stasic electric bicycles, which are a stepping stone into motorcycles. We've got a Honda licensed product dirt bike. It's about the equivalent of a CRF 110. And we've got the all-new Volcon Grunt, which is a startup company based out of Austin, Texas. Got a lot of cool electric product coming.
All this is happening electrically at Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency. Go check it out.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 31st, 1990, Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. become the first father and son to play on the same team for Major League Baseball. The pair hit back-to-back singles in the first inning.
Whether you're undertaking a major home renovation or just a simple repair request, American Electrical is your 5-star Jacksonville-based electrician to get the work done right. Experienced design building department working seamlessly with their electrical contracting department to help you create beautiful lighting spaces and electrical plans that make your house flow. And remember, with American Electrical, it's wired right at a fair price. Call American Electric at 737-7770. Look for that red, white, and blue eagle on the side of their truck, and you'll know it's American Electrical.
When you get a hankering for something sweet, join us at Woody's Barbecue for a slice of sky-high pie or Mom's banana pudding. Hot Flying Jack O'Brien, take it from me. Come see us at Woody's.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
This is Dr. Chris Swanson. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is holding their annual Bumps and Bruises Clinic every Saturday morning through early November. These injury evaluations are absolutely free and open to every school and athletic program in Northeast Florida.
See us this Saturday morning at 3 North Florida locations from 9 to 10. The Brooks Center for Sports Therapy inside the YMCA, Preferred Physical Therapy, Fleming Island, and at Atlas Physical Therapy, St. Johns County.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the Philly Godfather coming up in 20 minutes. Let's bring him back. He and the Philly Rooster apparently stars in the new Netflix documentary on Tim Donaghy. I haven't seen it yet. I think it just came out like yesterday or whatever. Maybe I'll look for it tonight when I get home. But it involved the animals out of Philadelphia. And if you're a regular listener, I do appreciate it. But you've known that forever I have the Philly Godfather and the Philly Rooster on, because they're very good at what they do. Tonight, we're going to look at season totals. Florida State, Florida, Miami. You going over? You going under? We'll also look at those two big games this weekend. Florida State, LSU in New Orleans on Sunday night, and Ben Hill Griffin Stadium Saturday night. We'll have all the coverage for you right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. They will be taking on Utah. So that's coming up in about 20. John Osher at 7, Tim Brando tonight at 7:30. Are we on video again tonight? Are we on YouTube?
We are on video. As,
I need to pull that up.
The kids say.
Yeah.
We're on our 1010XL YouTube page. All you got to do, go to YouTube, search in 1010XL. Super easy. We'll be the first video that pops up. Leave us a comment, question, complaint, all of the above.
We like complaints.
Our first
here.
one, we got Trey Sermon was just released. We could really solidify the running back room.
Trey Sermon, what? The combination of an Ohio State and Oklahoma back, if memory serves me correct. Out of all the guys they brought in today, Jermichael Hasty is perhaps the one that I think could end up being an immediate fit. I think you would like to have 4 running backs active on game day, particularly considering your top 2 guys are coming off devastating injuries. The report on Hasty is that he did a real good job on special teams. And if he can become a 4-core special teams guy, it's the only way he's going to do it. If he's a running back and only a running back, there's not going to be room for him. I did watch some highlights a little bit earlier on Hasty, and he honestly looked really good. So that could end up being a pretty good signing. Here's a guy here that 3756 says, Ballou, if the kicker isn't good at special teams, they're in trouble. Because a moment ago I said the 4 guys they signed outside of the kicker are all good at special teams. Well, here's my response to that. If Riley Patterson is the guy making tackles, then Jacksonville's in a lot of problems. They're going to be dealing with a lot of issues and a lot of problems. So let's take a look at these guys, all right? Because and before I get there, I mentioned the offensive line. You look at what they did today. They added 11 guys who they've had in camp. They still have the opportunity to bring in 5 more practice squad guys. Offensive linemen, Coy Cronk, Nick Ford, Darrell Williams. Boy, Williams had a real bad game the other night. He had a few penalties and what have you, but so be it. I haven't seen anything on Traore. All right. The only 2 that I've seen that have been picked up are Jay Tufele with Cincinnati. I saw Benji Franklin got picked up by Green Bay. I don't know if others have. I just haven't seen it yet. Jacksonville did bring back Mekhi Sargent, the running back, who, was the 54th guy and ended up getting cut yesterday. They bring back quarterback E.J. Perry. They bring back tight end Garrett Prince. They bring back wide receiver Kevin Austin Jr. They bring back defensive tackle Israel Antwine. They bring back their 6th-round draft pick, cornerback Gregory Jr., linebacker Grant Morgan, and safety Ayo Oyolola. What do you think? I think that's pretty good, actually.
You were pretty good, but it's Traore.
Oh, no, I was talking about
I know. I think you were like 9 of 10 right there.
Right.
You're pretty
10
damn
of 11.
Good. 10 of 11.
Right. Nick Ford was hard. It's Traore or Traore?
Traore.
Okay.
Traore.
Here's my rule. Make a play and I'll get your name right.
Who cares?
Okay? So those are the 11. And remember how things have changed now. It's year 2 of, or they have elected to stay with the COVID rules. So you have 16 practice squad players, 6 of which can have unlimited amounts of seasons played in the NFL. If you look at this list, they're all, rookies. There may be a player on here in his 2nd year. I don't believe so. But, rookies and guys with 2 years or less, they're going to make $11,500 a week. All right? You bring back players who have 4 or more years of accrued NFL seasons, they're going to make a heck of a lot more. And, of course, it goes up year by year. They're making somewhere in the neighborhood of $15,400 a week all the way up to $19,900 a week. And right now, the Jaguars do not have any one of those veterans on their practice squad. Again, they've got an opportunity to add 5 more players. These salaries are not guaranteed. They're based on a weekly stipend. And as I said at the top of the program, they all end up counting against the salary cap. Let's look at this. What did I do with it? Did I lose it? I'm just having so much fun in here today. This is just blowing me away. All right, let's look at this. Let's begin with let's talk about Pryor, the wide receiver, another Wisconsin guy, and they're really diving into the Green Bay Madison parts with quite a few guys, including Cole Van Lanen, who they added a week and a half ago. But Pryor is a wide receiver who played at Wisconsin, was there for 5 years, 53 games, 99 receptions, 1,265 yards, ran it 40 times. My understanding is that he's a guy that can really run. All right, a 4.37 40 is what he did. They like him in Cincinnati as a special teams type of player. I don't see The Jaguars have not listed height and weight here, but I went and did some digging a little bit earlier today. I have him listed at 5'11", 190 pounds. He is the sixth wide receiver. So we heard yesterday what Doug Peterson had to say about this and what Trent Baalke had to say about this. A guy like Pryor, there's a real good chance, folks, that not only is he active on game day, but if he's active, it's because he is going to be a four-core special teams football player. They say goodbye today to a guy that I thought was going to end up being a really good special teams player in Josh Thompson. And obviously Rudy Ford. Rudy Ford was picked up by someone. That was a
Green Bay.
That was that was a release. Rudy Ford, obviously more than 4 years, so he was not claimed. He chose Green Bay. Rudy Ford, of course, that was his special. That was his specialty, being on these special teams. If that in fact makes any sense. So my thinking on this is, they thought that Josh Thompson is a fifth safety. They think it's more valuable to have JaMycal Hasty as a fourth running back, and they think it's more valuable to turn around and have Kendrick Pryor as a sixth wide receiver, because on game day, the feeling is that both of those two are going to end up being able to play on special teams. As well, they went out and got another guy from Green Bay. That's Ty Summers. All right, originally drafted in the 7th round back in the 2019 draft. So, again, that'd be 19, 20, 21. Obviously, they were able to claim him. This is going to be his 4th year. He's been in 46 games. He's had a start, 23 tackles, a fumble recovery, 14 special team tackles. Played at TCU. You know, this guy did it all. Sacked the quarterback, had interceptions. He's pretty good in coverage, had 23 tackles for loss. So, again, I don't think there's another, it just sticks out. This is not a guy that was signed today that they think is going to be able to come in and help out on that too deep defensively. No, he becomes yet another guy that they are going to rely upon with special teams. Hasty. This is the most intriguing one for me, JaMycal Hasty. Rookie free agent in 2020, all right, with San Francisco. He hung around for a couple of seasons, 216 rushing yards. He spent 5 years at Baylor, where he was incredibly productive. But the book on Hasty, not only is he very good at special teams, runs low to the ground, and also is considered a good receiver out of the backfield. You know, that hurt Rock Armstead. He was not a good wide receiver. James Robinson, I think, is better than advertised. I thought that all along Snoop Connor, kind of my impression of him coming in compared to what I saw in camp, better at catching the football than I expected. Of course, Travis Etienne is outstanding with that and has that relationship with Trevor Lawrence with their days back at Clemson. So he is at it as well, and I think that is it. I don't know if I mentioned Gillespie. They got him from the Raiders. This is an interesting one because he is a young man who is considered, and he's the one out of Ocala. Did I say the kicker earlier?
You did.
All right. If I made a mistake, I do apologize. It is actually Gillespie, the safety who went to Missouri and did some nice things there. But he played for Las Vegas last year. He was in 11 games. And again, primarily special teams. Helped out a little bit defensively, and he is added to the roster today. So there you have it. Tyree Gillespie. He went from the Las Vegas Raiders to Tennessee. He was just cut by Tennessee, picked up by Jacksonville. Running back JaMycal Hasty from San Francisco. Kicker Riley Patterson from Detroit. Made 13 of 14 kicks during the 2021 season. So far in camp this year during the preseason for Detroit, he was 3 of 7 with touchbacks during his kickoffs. Kendrick Pryor, working with Joey Burrow and company in Cincinnati. They get him, and Ty Summers comes back over from Green Bay as a linebacker. Thoughts? Get us. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, let's make some money, people. That's why I bring on the Philly Godfather. Let's take a look at the season total for Florida State. I did it last week. I took the under. I had them at 6-6. We're going to do Florida and do Miami. We may do Georgia, but we kind of want your heads to, just diminish a little bit after dropping a natty on us for the first time in 41 years. 41 years? But who was the president then? Eisenhower? Was that Nixon? Was that Jimmy Carter? What was it?
Garfield, I
mean, 41 years? Yeah, we'll let you guys relish in that. We're going to come back and look at totals. Florida State. Florida. The U. We'll do it with the Philly Godfather. We'll also take a look at those two big games coming up this weekend. It is New Orleans. It is the French Quarter. It is the Bayou Bengals against the Chief, Osceola. And then Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Florida, Utah. Philly Godfather's next.
Get more downforce on Jacksonville's NASCAR station this Sunday at Darlington.
And he's got a lot of steam coming.
Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010XL.
Roland, Roland, Roland. We're all calling Roland. The toilet's overflowing. Oh my.
When you've got a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing. 260-7059.
The 9 after 5 keeps rolling at Southampton. Joe C. inviting you to jump on the tee every Wednesday at the Golf Club of Southampton. Just call 287-PLAY and sign up. We'll give you a little time after work to get there. Always a fun 9-hole game. Chef Gary preparing something nice for afterwards. Prizes and more than anything else. Playing golf with buds and having some suds after. It's the 9 after 5 every Wednesday at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee with Joe C.
At Farah and Farah, we use a registered nurse, private investigator, and a team of attorneys to build your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Roofing contractors make 10% more on your next roof project with the 1010 Radio Special. First Coast Metal Roofing Supply, in business since 1998, making this special offer for only our listeners. You get 10% off your first roof package from First Coast Metal Roofing Supply and 10% off your second roof package. They'll even match any written quote on comparable product. Find out what it's like to get first-class knowledge, service, and selection from the highest-rated company in the region, FirstCoastMRS.com.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Regular movement is key to so many health benefits. Aim for at least 10,000 steps a day. Decide to only take the stairs if you're walking less than 6th floor. Never park in the first 10 spaces of the parking lot. Walk during your work breaks. Get up 10 minutes earlier in the morning and take a short, brisk walk before the chaos of the day starts. There are so many easy ways to stay active. Let's get moving, Jacksonville.
Prosser here. You've been thinking about selling your house, but you think you missed the boat on selling for the maximum price. I'm here to tell you that with Chad and Sandy, you can still reach those goals. Chad and Sandy guarantee multiple offers on your home in 3 days, or it's sold free. Get maximum convenience and maximum sales price. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. You can actually stay in your home after the sale while you close your dream home. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Mr. Grogan over there in Callahan said, I'm a local builder. I had a realtor already, but I wasn't sure my guy could get the best price. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio. I met with Chad and hired them. My neighbors thought I was crazy for asking $100,000 over average neighborhood price, but guess what? Chad got the full asking price in 3 days. Those are the results Chad and Sandy are getting. Call the agents I trust. Get multiple offers in 3 days or sold free. That number, 904-414-6200. Or go to chadandsandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
Learn what it takes to make a great signal call.
Give me 10 green right, 97 busters.
And hear stories from the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Who made that call?
Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Honest Abe Roofing and Tyson Sound and Security on 1010XL.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here, and right now is the time to ramp up your drafting for fantasy football season. I always use Underdog Fantasy to draft now.
because there's no in-season management. Of course, I do it to try and win the $10 million in prizes too, but it organically prepares me for my local season-long drafts as well. So sign up now, head to UnderdogFantasy.com or the App Store, and when you do sign up, use promo code 1010XL. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, don't forget to sign up with promo code 1010XL.
ITB Partners, the official financial firm for the station to beat inflation.
Whoa, Dan. People don't want to joke about their money, not during these tough times.
You mean they'd rather hear about how ITB Partners takes our money and makes us more money?
Now you're talking. They make financial planning simple and easy to understand, even for a couple of slappies like us.
Those guys have been serving Hickets for 3 generations. Junebug, me. I even got my son Juju being smart with his money in his 20s.
It's never too early to talk with Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Brian Wright, Reagan Wright, Jeff Hartman, and Craig Ross.
Financial questions, ideas, or thoughts, email chris@itbpartners.com.
It's summertime, and we are all out there having fun outdoors. Dr. George Barr here, and if increasing your outdoor exercise is causing you to feel your age, such as knee pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, or any aches and pains, visit me at Barry Orthopedics. We can diagnose and treat all your aches and pains. Locations in Orange Park, Riverside, and Southside. Visit us at BarryOrthopedics.com.
And don't forget, check out Breaking Bones with Dr. George Barry at 1010XL.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
The music could only mean one thing. It is the return of the Philly Godfather who goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Philly Godfather, sir, how have you been?
Yeah, doing great. It's that time of the year when everyone gets excited, when our juices start flowing, and everyone's ready to fire.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, first things first. Now, I saw this yesterday, and I tweeted it out. When I get off the air here in about an hour and 15 minutes, I'm going home, and I'm going to watch it. Tell us about Netflix and Personal Foul, the new documentary.
Yeah, it's Operation Flagrant Foul. It's the whole NBA betting scandal. From a new perspective, a lot of stuff that was released in this documentary has never been talked about before. It's on Netflix. My good friend Jimmy Batista is in it, my friend Tommy Martino, and I do a cameo in it as well. So make sure you guys check it out.
All right, now, we don't want to play spoiler here, but is this all NBA, or does it have anything to do with the whole Goodfellas, money from Pittsburgh that went to BC and the point shaving there?
No, it's all about Timmy Donaghy and the whole NBA betting scandal. The guys from Philly, a couple guys from New York, and the feds are in it as well. So it's they say it's pretty good. I liked it. I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right, we're going to watch it. I did see some comments that were made. I don't know if it was, I think it was Philly Rooster who said somehow they brought up John Gotti. He got involved, and he shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I mean, they showed film of him and the Gambino family. And I mean, you know, the betting crew I had in Philly had nothing to do with those guys. We're sports bettors. And now, obviously, you're betting into a street book, and they have some affiliation. They might be getting our information that way, but we never gave those guys our information.
Yeah. All right. Billy Godfather with us. It's great to have him back for another college football season. Let's start with some totals here. I went through Florida State last week because they had their opener against Duquesne, but everything I've seen all year has been 6.5 for Florida State. I took the under. I had them at 6-6. Do you have an opinion this year on FSU?
I mean, there's nowhere to go for Florida State's offense but up this year. And their defense was actually pretty good last year. They were 34th in defensive success rate, 19th in defensive finishing drives, and 29th in havoc. And they got better, I think, as well. I mean, the schedule looks grueling early, but there's some favorable scheduling spots. And I think there's a great shot for this team to win 8 games this year if they can beat LSU up next, which, in my opinion, is a coin flip. I mean, I bet the over 6.5. I think even over 7 is a shot. So I went over 6.5.
All right, Philly Godfather says he thinks possibly 8, so play the over 6.5 for Florida State. It may be off the board on some because of the win against Duquesne. Perhaps you can find it somewhere there. Gators, a very interesting year. As we know, they've made yet another coaching change. They open up against Utah, which is going to be very difficult. I've seen it consistently at 7. What do you have in your opinion on Florida?
I just can't see 8 wins this year unless they beat some of the better teams on their schedule that have higher projected win totals. It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a very tough road getting 8 wins from Florida this year. I mean, they got to play Utah, Kentucky. They got Tennessee up there, LSU. It's always tough to beat them. Georgia, Texas A&M. I just can't find 8 wins. So, if anything, I would have to go under 7. I can't go over 7.
Yeah, all right. 7 for the University of Florida. I have them at 7. I'm going to go through it actually on Friday, but I think I would leave that one alone when it's all said and done. What about Miami now? And boy, I tell you, I met with Mario Cristobal about 6 weeks ago in Charlotte for the Atlantic Coast Conference football meetings, and I came out of there pretty intimidated because I think this guy is finally the one that can bring Miami back to what they once were. What are your thoughts there on the U?
I think they got better. I haven't placed a wager on them. I got them at 9 wins this year. I'm seeing 8.5, 9. If you can find an 8.5 out there, I mean, I'll go over 8.5. I think they definitely got better this year. I just hate to get stuff out that I didn't put money on, So I haven't bet it yet.
Okay, you haven't bet Miami. As we get to the 2 big games around here, Philly Godfather, is there any game that really piques your interest coming up this weekend?
There's a couple of them. Good friend of mine, real sharp bettor, he laid 6 on Arkansas. I love Utah. I mean, I bet this team. I love the way they're built. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people and make a lot of noise.
Philly Godfather, I guess. Philly Godfather, how do the people get a hold of you, whether it's Twitter, obviously the website, everything you have out there?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at The Godfather. You can stop by thephillygodfather.com for all your sports betting needs, and you can catch me on Netflix.
All right, let's get to the Swamp. Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have that game for you right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Long trip for Utah to come out here and play in the Deep South. I think the humidity will, dip a little bit with it being a night game, but also that crowd in Gainesville, that's a difficult place to play. How do you see this contest?
Yeah, this game originally opened up. I had to pick them, and right away there was some sharp money to hit the screen on Utah. I had to pick -1, -2, -2.5. It's moved that line up to Utah -3 across your sports betting screen. There's still a couple 2.5s out there that are juiced if you're looking to get down below that key number of 3 on the road favorite here. I mean, it's still early, and there's still people on vacation, but so far bet splits, they're tilted slightly in Utah's favor, but as we all know, that could change come game day when the betting public gets involved and starts firing. Swamp's always a tough place to play. Florida has improved over last year, and even though Utah, I think they're playing an SEC opponent for only the 8th time in its history, like I said, I like Utah here. I took Utah on the money line a few weeks ago. I mean, this team's expected to win over 8.5 games this season, and I'm hoping this is one of them. They're returning 17 starters combined. I think 66% of their production from a season ago is coming back as well. And like I said, they're going to make some noise in college football this season. When it comes to the total, I think it's a little low at 51. I think Utah's offense can put up a bunch of points here. And I like Florida. I mean, they got an immensely talented quarterback in Anthony Richardson, and I think Florida can put up some points as well. I like the over 51. I like Utah here on the money.
Yeah, I like the over. I do. All right, you play the money line here, Utah as well, against Florida. Let's wrap it up with a Sunday night game for us. That's Florida State, a 3-point underdog against LSU. How do you see it?
Yeah, LSU opened up -1 back in May with soft limits offshore. And since then, I mean, the line reached as high as 3.5. Before we saw some resistance, and it's come back down to 3. So LSU, as of right now, is -3. The total's been bouncing around slightly from 51.5 to 52. It dropped to 50, and now it's back up, painted across the screen at 51.5. It's still early. I mean, the game's 4 days away, but as of right now, LSU's getting most of the love here from the public. Over 70% of the tickets are on LSU. But I actually like the dog here. I like Florida State +3 or better. I mean, LSU's offensive line, they got, 5 new starters up front with Will Campbell, a true freshman, starting at left tackle, which is good news for Florida State's defensive line. I like the dog. Like I said here, I like the under. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. I think both offensive lines got some issues, and I think that defense is going to come up big on both sides of the ball. I like the dog here, and I like the under.
Yeah, Brian Kelly and Mike Norvell kicked it off a year ago, faced one another when Kelly was at Notre Dame. Kelly hasn't announced who his quarterback's going to be. I think we all believe it's Jaden Daniels who's going to be the one under center. But has that affected things a little bit? And you said most of the tickets are on LSU. Do you think it remains that way? Because my thought is that Kelly is not going to tell us who the starter is until we see him warm up, say, 30 minutes before kick.
Yeah, I mean, it could affect the market slightly, but not that much. As of right now, he's supposed to start, and that's what everyone's going on. And I don't think it's going to affect the line at all.
All right, Philly Godfather. Once again, let our listeners please know how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, follow me at Philly Godfather. Stop by the PhillyGodfather.com. And my buddy Gotham City Vig, he loves Arkansas, so make sure you guys go out and bet him.
All right, check out that website. The Philly Godfather joins us each and every week here throughout the course of the football season, and it is always a pleasure. Best of luck in your plays.
Thanks, man. Go Eagles.
There he goes. Doug Peterson and the Eagles. The Philly Godfather will rubber stamp that too, He's a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. Big Doug Peterson fan. He likes, he's going against me on Florida State. He says over. He thinks Florida State can win 8 games.
Well, I think you guys would both be on the over, though.
I took the under.
Isn't it 6.5?
I took him at 6-6.
Oh, you did? I forgot about that. I was the 7 guy.
Right. Yeah.
I'm feeling more confident after that beating they put on.
Well, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I take a beating. I do. Whether I'm out at the SOS on 17 or whether I'm over here at Ginger's place on A1. I hope I take a beating because I hope Florida State wins 8-9 games. Florida 7, he can't see it.
I disagree.
He can't see it. We're going to make our picks. It's either going to be tomorrow or Friday. Tell you what, we're always in constant preparation. Not sure exactly when we're going to do that. It could be tomorrow live from Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra, or it could be Friday where, remember, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be on 3 to 6 Friday on 1010. And that's going to be that way for about 7 or 8 more Fridays.
We're competing with Frank Frangie.
Right.
So if you don't know, we have 2 apps, people. We have the 1010 app and the 92.5 app. To hear us, use the 1010 app.
If someone puts a banana in the tailpipe of Brooksy, Carolina, Frangie, it's not me. Miami, 8.5. He has not made a bet on that, but you heard him say if there's some 9s out there. If you could get it at 8.5, he kind of likes the U to go over, to go to at least 9-3 to cover.
Makes me nervous.
Yep. Utah plus 2.5, he really likes. He can play money line. I mean, forget about the points. He's not going to give up the 2.5 or give up the 3. He's just going to play money line. So it's going to the risk reward. The reward will not be as plentiful, but for him, I guess winning by 1 point is good enough. He likes Utah, and he likes Florida State plus the 3 right now against LSU. Tomorrow night, we'll hear from Rafael Esparza from MyBookie, MyBookie.com. The Philly Rooster will join us Friday. We like to keep you people happy and hopefully financially secure. Remember, if you win your bets, you can always buy me an ice-cold Miller Lite with a Tullamore Dew Chaser. If you lose your bets, well, you never should have bet to begin with.
Home of 2 naval air stations and 1 sports radio station called 1010XL. This is Jacksonville.
Honda continues to impress with their new lineup this year. Don't settle for less when the best is just minutes away. We invite you to visit your local Honda dealer and see the vehicles everyone is talking about. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda. Come see us. We're dealing.
When it comes to plumbing problems, you gotta have your ducks in a row. Don't get fooled by the quacks in town claiming to be plumbers. They don't even have a license to operate. Yeah, you know who you are. The professionals at Duck Duck Rooter bring over 100 years of combined plumbing experience to the table and are fully licensed and insured. There isn't a plumbing problem we haven't seen and resolved.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Picking here for my friends at Roof It Right. Been told your roof no longer qualifies for insurance coverage? Call my friends at Roof It Right today and learn about their Golden Pledge warranty. It's the best materials, the best service, and the best warranties. That's why I endorse Roof It Right, and that's why they're the company I know and trust. Make this roof your last roof with a warranty that's good as gold. Visit roofitRightFL.com today. That's right, roofitRightFL.com. Roof it right so you can sleep at night.
This is Dr. Chris Swanson. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is holding their annual Bumps and Bruises Clinic every Saturday morning through early November. These injury evaluations are absolutely free and open to every school and athletic program in Northeast Florida.
See us this Saturday morning at 3 North Florida locations from 9 to 10. The Brooks Center for Sports Therapy inside the YMCA, Preferred Physical Therapy, Fleming Island, and at Atlas Physical Therapy, St. Johns County.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Brackish Vodka, part of the Brackish brands, is made right here in Jacksonville. 100% from corn and gluten-free. It's the local answer to Tito's. Brackish Vodka is the proud partner of Growler's Bar at Tailgaters, and we will be pouring free samples of our local vodka, as well as selling merch at each home game. Brackish brands are for those who live life slightly salty. And once you try Brackish Vodka, you'll be slightly salty too. You've never had vodka this smooth. Buy Brackish at any Shores Liquor. See you on game day.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Stop wasting time waiting for tires at a tire store. Try Go Mobile Tires. We are a mobile tire business that comes to where you live, work, or play. Check us out on the web at gomotires.com or call us at 904-907-0999.
As your favorite team rebuilds this offseason, Hayes Carline will keep you up on their progress.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Come on, guys.
Read about it on Hayes' blog at 1010XL.com. Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing.
Go team.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Hey Jay, at Rhino Shield we talk about protecting your home from the harsh Florida weather because we have seen what happens.
Stucco cracks without repair, they can allow water to get into the walls, causing water damage, mold, and even wood rot.
And Jay, some of our customers have been tied up in litigation for up to 4 years trying to be made whole again.
Rhino Shield your home now before you have to go to litigation.
And remember, with Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint again.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
You know, the word was, what was it, Kim Kardashian, who broke the internet a few years ago? The Philly Godfather just broke the internet. And with his pick of Utah, money line, there are some Gator fans out there listening right now who are not happy. You can comment 641-1010 on the text line. That is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Tim Brando in 30 minutes. He's got a game Friday and Saturday, so we're going to get him on tonight to talk some college football. Right now, let's get back to the Jags. It is our Wednesday conversation at 7 o'clock. We always do it with our good buddy John Osher. He is with Jaguars.com, and, of course, he is the Jaguars senior writer. Johnny O, how are you?
Rick, does the Philly Godfather know Devin Lloyd with the Jags now? I mean, is he?
The Philly Godfather never plays teams. The Philly Godfather only plays numbers. Okay? Algorithms, all that type of stuff goes into the decisions that he makes.
Gotcha. No Devin Lloyd.
His verbiage, not mine. Devin Lloyd, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, the two best things that came out of the press conference yesterday, number one was listening to Trent Baalke talk about his belief in the health of James Robinson, and he included Travis Etienne. And then later, Doug Peterson talking about the first issue was playing Devin Lloyd, getting him through the game, and then coming out, and then, after no setbacks the next morning or what have you. To me, those are the two best parts of the press conference.
Yeah, I think with Lloyd, it feels apparent that they were taking a long view approach, which is what you have to take. They were confident that his talent, is going to get him ready. He's going to be fine. I don't know if he'll start the opener, but it was clear they wanted to make sure they didn't bring him back before that hamstring was fully healed. They feel good about what they saw. They feel good about his health, and I keep saying, as good as the Jaguars' defense looked when it was together for those first couple of games, meaning preseason week 1 and 2, that was without Devin Lloyd. And he looks to be the guy that over time is going to be the big playmaker for the defense. I don't have a real feel for whether he'll start the opener. I'm kind of thinking he might not, but you have Chad Muma. But he's going to play a lot in the opener, and he'll be starting, very, very soon.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I think they really like three linebackers right now. Those three are guys that they believe can do a lot of different things for them. Only one true nose tackle on the team now. Malcolm Brown gone for 2 weeks. Jay Tufele was a surprise for me as far as a cut yesterday. Is that today's game? Is this more of a snap count situation where Jacksonville is going to find themselves in nickel so many times that when you are asking for it to be a true nose tackle, you may only have that situation, 15, 18, 20 times a game?
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think they it's been so hard for me, Rick. Every time you try to analyze the defensive front in this group, is Fatukasi a nose? Is Devon Hamilton the only nose? What's Roy Robertson Harrison? I know those guys are big ends, but it truly feels like they see a lot of these things as interchangeable. And in Mike Caldwell's defense, that you're going to give them so many looks. I thought the biggest takeaway from the press conference yesterday was what you're talking about. When Doug spent a couple of minutes talking about the reality is in this day and age in the NFL, you've got to be smart about your numbers. You've got Fatukasi who can move over. You've got Devon Hamilton. That's realistically all the nose tackle snaps that you're going to be able to get. So they decided to go away from that position a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now, I do think you'll see that position on the practice squad. So you're carrying 69 these days. I think one or two of those practice squad guys will go to that spot. But yeah, they only plan to have those two guys up. It does lead me to believe that they believe Fatukasi will be eligible on game day or be healthy on game day, mm-hmm. or else I think they would have kept one more guy.
Yeah. I'm really intrigued. I'm actually more interested in the defense than I am with the offense for the simple reason that I've said all along, and I'm not going to change now, that I think if they can run the football, it changes everything, and the offense is going to be fine. With this defense, though, and Doug Peterson 2 weeks ago said, no, we're not going to flip Walker and Allen. They're going to stay on the same side. Well, we saw Walker late in that third game move around a little bit, and we know that, when Smoot goes inside and Arden Key goes inside, what they can do. I'm just fascinated about how versatile it appears that front seven really is. And, coming from Todd Bowles, Mike Caldwell, coming from Todd Bowles, we know what he's done in Tampa. I'm getting pretty excited about seeing what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I asked Caldwell today in the presser, the last question of his time in the press conference. I said, have we seen your defense yet? Have we seen your impact on the defense just in these 2 preseason games, or is there more to come? And he said, well, the defensive look, you've seen it. But he then went on to sort of say, there's a lot more that this defense is going to do. I'm paraphrasing him, but basically the answer was, as they get into more matchups, as they start scheming for different teams and for specifics of different teams, you're going to see a lot more and a lot more creativity from the defense. And I think that sort of falls into line with what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see them move schemes around or players around within the scheme. I agree with you. I'm not sure the Jaguars, it's hard to go into last season because who knows what they were supposed to be last season. It was so messed up. But they've never really had a 3-4 scheme until last season. And I think you're going to see what, the creativity, the different looks that people have been clamoring for so long. I think you're going to see it in action this season.
John Osher, our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com, joins Rick Ballou each and every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. All right, Doug wouldn't let it out. He's going to wait till next week, but he has chosen a right tackle. You believe it's Walker Little. I believe it's Jawaan Taylor.
Yeah, I believe it's Jawaan Taylor now. I believe, Rick, that I maybe whiffed on that one as bad as I've whiffed on anything in a long time. I thought early on in camp, and I kept basing it on that. I feel like they wanted Little to win the job. It would have benefited for him to win the job. I thought early on the thinking was that he was going to, and then my impression from talking to different people is that Jawaan Taylor just won the job fairly easily, and that I think it'll be Jawaan Taylor with Walker Little as swing tackle. I'm not hearing that from anybody official. When I say I've talked to people, Peterson's not telling me that. Caldwell, the opposite people are not telling me that. But that's the impression I get distinctly. I'd be surprised if it's not Jawaan Taylor at this point. And it sounds like he went out and just won the job. Credit to him. Because nobody thought he was going to.
No.
At the beginning of this, I don't think anybody thought he was going to be the job.
No way. Well, I'll credit you. You had the return of Cam. I thought he would not return. And now I look at Jawaan, and, listen, they got a game in 11 days. You got to put your best football players out there. But I'm always kind of peeking ahead, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great to have second-year money with Little, then next year third-year money with Little? What if Jawaan Taylor goes out and plays well this year? And for everyone who says it's a contract year, he played well during a contract year, and if all of a sudden this organization believes in him and they pay him, and maybe the light does go on for him. I don't know. Maybe the light's going to really go on here now for Cam Robinson, but, man, there's also a lot of risk involved there.
Yeah, there is because, again, the Jaguars, except for Brandon Scherf, Brandon Scherf, they don't really have any guy that you look at and say, okay, he's an established top guy at his position, but they also want to pay guys. They want to have continuity. So you have taken a little bit of a risk with Cam. I agree with you. Jawaan Taylor, all of a sudden, how well does he have to play to get a second contract next offseason? Does he have to be serviceable? Does he have to be great? I think you'll figure that out. I don't think the answer to that question has to come this week. But it is a question as you go forward because now you're getting a lot of money tied up into the offensive line. I would think he's got to really go earn it. Well, one thing about Cam, there was a strong belief that he's ascending and that he was capable of being a lot better than he had been, and they felt like he played well at the end of last season. I think Jawaan would have to be obviously a similar story to get a second contract.
Yeah.
But he's capable of it. remember, Rick, this guy's a first-round talent coming out of the draft. A lot of people thought he was going to be picked in the first round.
Yeah.
Maybe a different scheme, different offensive line coach. Maybe this looks a lot different by the end of the season.
There was a lot of talk about character, and obviously they're trying to totally rebuild everything. I thought a few years ago, and this is my opinion. You don't have to comment on it, but I thought when they moved Fournette and they moved Ronnie Harrison, they were kind of moving guys that weren't perfect locker room guys, and that they didn't want them around. With some of the moves that we've seen here, does that apply, or do you just believe that they feel they're getting better football players with the moves they've made?
Meaning who? I mean,
Rudy. I heard rumblings that Rudy Ford, wasn't totally happy. That Chenault's agent was, asking for a trade at the combine. And I know this stuff happens all across the league, but do you think any of that played in?
Yeah, I don't think there was a perception that those guys were bad guys. I don't know enough about Rudy Ford. I know with Laviska, there was just a feeling that I never got the impression that it was anything beyond he was a physical wide receiver who really didn't have special speed and really hadn't shown that he was going to be a top-level receiver. I mean, we hadn't seen very much polish. We hadn't seen very much production, and I've seen a lot of errors. So I just think that once they started moving forward with Laviska, they knew he was going to be the fourth. If he was going to be the fourth, and then all of a sudden you had the game plan for him, Rick. And when you're having the game plan for a receiver, he better be really special. Meaning, when I say game plan, I mean the extra stuff, the run, the Deebo Samuel type stuff. Well, if you're going to game plan for that and have that be a critical element of the offense, you better believe strongly in it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure they believed strongly in that, and I don't think they thought that he was going to contribute as a receiver. So I think that was more of it than anything else.
All right, John, this franchise, Mike Hollis, Josh Scobie, they kick for more than half of the franchise's existence, and they've bought homes here. I hope neither one of the 6 kickers who's already been a part of this year's spring training, if you will, has not purchased a new house.
Yeah, they probably haven't. And I am completely. I wrote about him today, and now I'm drawing a blank on the kicker they signed today,
Riley Patterson.
Riley Patterson. I just finished sending a story on it. That shows you age 56, Rick. It's rough. It's rough for me in terms of memory. But I think Patterson, from listening to Heath Farwell today, I think you saw a little glimpse into what they were thinking. I'm not going to say the other guys were placeholders, but they had their eyes on a couple of kicker competitions where they knew a really good kicker was going to lose one. It feels like Patterson was a guy that they really wanted to be the kicker. My gut is he sticks, and he's different from these first 5. We'll see if I'm right.
Well, I hope so. Let's hope. He made 13 of 14 a year ago in Detroit, and he was one of 5 players picked up today by the Jaguars. John, always a lot of fun. Thank you, sir.
Rick, thank you, buddy. We'll talk.
There he goes, John Osher, ladies and gentlemen. You're joining us for the first time today. Added to the roster was kicker Riley Patterson. Got him out of Detroit. They got wide receiver Kendrick Pryor out of Cincinnati. Linebacker Ty Summers from Green Bay. Jermichael Hasty, a running back out of San Francisco. And a guy who had a nice season last year in Las Vegas was cut, picked up by Tennessee, didn't make the team. That is safety Tyree Gillespie. He's out of Ocala.
Heard he's an absolute legend.
In Ocala? Ocala Vanguard?
I hope he makes the team.
Yeah. Well, he's on the team. He's on the 53 right now.
So he can't be placed on the practice squad at this point? Or can he still be? Or is he pretty much a lock?
He is part of the original 53-man roster that has to officially be set, and every team has to be under the salary cap by next Tuesday. So as of right now, he is on the 53-man roster. Now, the way I understand it, you can still make transactions moving forward because these players were waived. They weren't released. They were waived with less than 40 years. So I don't know the timing on that. I don't believe that you could put them on the practice squad, let's say, tomorrow or by the end of the weekend. I think that there's some time involved. But the way I understand, when you're first on the waiver wire and you're snatching up players, you're not allowed to stash them on the practice squad because Jacksonville could do that with all 16 guys. You know, if the rules applied in that way, you got 16 practice squad players, you could locate the top 20 players that you believe are
on the waiver wire.
Put 4 on your active roster and put 16 on your practice squad. Right. So there is some time, and I don't know if it may even be through week 3. And
where they have to actually be dressed with the team.
Right. Or if you cut him, he's cut. If Gillespie doesn't make it, if he shows up here and he doesn't look good and they decide, they can't say, wow, he's not what we think, let's put him on the practice squad. No, they would have to actually cut him off of the 53-man roster and can't put him on the practice squad.
Okay.
At least for the time being. I know that changes. I want to say that changes in week 3. I'll see if I can get the exacts on that.
Very confusing time.
Love that word, exacts, by the way. One of our colleagues here uses it, and I love it.
Really?
Yeah. The exacts.
I don't know who you're talking about. That just shows I don't listen to this station that much.
Says you're working.
I know.
All the time. All right, Tim Brando coming up in about 15. In the meantime, let's get to some of your answers. 641-1010. Your questions on the text line that's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Sharing ideas.
We all want a victory!
And emotions.
Yeah! We all want a victory!
1010XL.
If you've been thinking about a new Toyota, then stop thinking and start buying during the national sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. And check this out. Arlington's got 500 new Toyotas available, and that makes now the perfect time to slip into a new ride. Plus, you get 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it, and a lifetime warranty with your new Toyota purchase. So stop thinking and start buying. Better yet, start your engines. It's the national sales event at Arlington Toyota. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Over 40 years ago, we started on a journey. We planted seeds, we made promises, and kept them. We built relationships with equal parts dignity and respect, focusing entirely on protecting the injured, the mistreated. We put together a way of working that became a way of life. Every case made us stronger. Over 40 years ago, we set out to build a law firm, but what we ended up with was so much more. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Mia O'Brien here. XL Primetime will be live at T-Mobile in the AUG off US 1 and 312 this Friday with your chance to win tickets to the Gator home game against USF. It's the T-Mobile Ticket Tour, and we will be giving away Gator ticket prize packs filled with tickets, hospitality, parking, $100 in gas, and food provided by our awesome friends over at Sonny's Barbecue. Come by, say hi, meet the crew, and put your name in for the Gator Football Game Day prize pack. It's the T-Mobile Ticket Tour with XL Primetime. No purchase necessary. Open to Florida residents 18 or over. See site for details. Void where prohibited.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700. 798-1700.
Pickett here for Zero Res. Fall's my favorite time of the year. It's cooling down outside. It's perfect weather for having your carpets and tile clean. For September, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129, and Zero Res will clean a 4th room free. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards, the right way to clean.
This is Hayes Carlion for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that specializes in pest, termites, mosquito, and rodent prevention. I tell you what, when I got my new home, I had to put on my reporter's hat, find out who really is the best, and it turns out there's no competition. Kingfish provides exceptional service and treats me like a valued customer, not just an account. That's why I wholeheartedly recommend Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Fetch the latest Bulldogs news and notes. I'm Andrew Gibson. Catch my Bulldog reports on 1010XL.
Brought to you by Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group.
Are you looking to be a part of a company where you feel respected and your efforts will be recognized? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. We're hiring professional painters and trainees who are friendly and have an eagerness to learn and grow. If you don't take yourself too seriously, but do take your profession seriously, you're likely to be a good fit here. Great pay, paid time off, medical, dental, and a company-matched 401k are just a few of the benefits waiting for you at Performance Painting. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, quality coatings applied with pride.
Equal opportunity employer.
Jeff Prosser here. Do you have a damaged roof on your home? I did too, so I had Ken Lawler and his team help me get my roof replaced through my property insurance. Ken, tell us how it works.
Jeff, our team walks you through the process and eliminates the confusion that comes with filing an insurance claim and getting it properly settled. It's all free if we don't recover money for your claim. If you have a damaged roof, call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit FEAclaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of cleanout at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
Life a little expensive right now? If you need cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach is ready to buy. Gold, silver coins, and flatware, guitars and guns. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn wants to buy them. See Chuck and get extra cash only at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Rod Stewart, Friday night, right here in Jacksonville. Still haven't decided if I'm going or not. I think it's sold out. I need some tickets. I mean, it can't be that hard to get. This isn't like it's Rod Stewart, late 70s, early 80s. He got a little bit too pop for me in the 80s. Some of those songs were, kind of make-out songs, you know what I mean? But his early stuff was absolutely legendary. I just feel like I got to see him. You got to bring Rod Stewart into Jacksonville. You got to go see him. And you've got Cheap Trick setting the table for you.
Who was that guy last night was telling us there's a video going around of Rod Stewart and his son beating up somebody at an airport bar or something like that? I got to check that out.
I was like, soccer guys don't throw. I thought all soccer guys just take punches and dive.
Lots of dive.
And flop. So, I don't know. We'll see what's going on coming up here on Friday night. I got to get my hands on a couple of tickets. This is going to be one of the fastest segments in the history of 1010XL. The reason why is we want to expand our next segment because it is a return of Tim Brando 2022. I'm told that somehow, somewhere, he is going to be able to find Beano Cook, okay, because there's a backyard brawl going on tomorrow night. For those of you who don't know, I mean, the great and the late Beano Cook was a one-time sports information director at Pittsburgh before he made an incredible second career out of himself as a college football analyst.
First meeting in 11 years, dude. I mean, we grew up watching this game. Everybody did.
We should have the backyard brawl every year. My GF's an Oklahoma fan. I'm like, we should have Oklahoma-Nebraska every year.
Yes.
She's like, it's not even a rivalry anymore. It's Oklahoma-Texas. It's Oklahoma State.
I actually think they play this year.
They do. Well, we should have Texas A&M every year.
Michigan, Notre Dame.
We should have Michigan, Notre Dame every year. We're not even going to have Notre Dame, USC when USC goes to the Big Ten.
I didn't even think about that.
That is my understanding.
That's a disgrace.
Here's one that I got for you. I want a Florida State-Duquesne rivalry every year. Can we sign up for that?
Starting now.
Hey, before I bring on Brando, because he's a Bayou Bengal, or he lives in Louisiana. He knows an awful lot about LSU. I was looking at this the other day. The last time Florida State played LSU, it was in a monsoon in 1991 in Baton Rouge. And I was at that game with my brother and some other buddies. Florida State won that game 27-16 in Baton Rouge. And they lost two offensive linemen. I think it was Robbie Baker and Kevin Mancini. That was the year of Wide Right 1. But this is just amazing. If you look at Florida State, they went to Baton Rouge in 79 and won. Florida State turned around and went to Baton Rouge in 1980 and won. Florida State turned around and went to Baton Rouge in 1981 and won. Florida State turned around and went to Baton Rouge in 1982 and lost. Florida State turned around and went to Baton Rouge in 1983 and won. Florida State went to Baton Rouge in 1989 and won. LSU came to Tallahassee once and only once. And my mom and dad came in from Boston to see it. Huge fight at the end of the game. Florida State a winner, 42-3. So for those of you scoring at home, Florida State has played in Baton Rouge 7 times. Florida State has won 6 of those 7. They've played once in Tallahassee, and Florida State won that game. This is back in the day where Bobby would go on the road. He'd go every year. You want us to come play you? We'll come play you. Not expecting you to come back to Tallahassee. Unbelievable. Cannot believe they have not played a game since 1991. When we do return, Tim Brando is in. We'll talk about this game. We'll talk about the Gators in Utah. We'll just talk college football. He's with Fox Sports. Tim Brando next. Joins Rick Ballou.
Because the expressway doesn't mean the fast way.
Fasten your seatbelt.
The Frangie Show.
Don't look like no expressway to me.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Honda continues to impress with their new lineup this year. Don't settle for less when the best is just minutes away. We invite you to visit your local Honda dealer and see the vehicles everyone is talking about. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda. Come see us. We're dealing.
Tired of living with chronic joint pain from arthritis or injury? Stop with the steroids and pain meds and don't have surgery until you check out regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
These therapies can help the body have long-term relief of your pain.
Meet Dr. Justin Garzone, medical director at QC Kinetics.
We use your body's own healing properties, highly concentrate them, and then use that to restore and repair the damaged tissues in your joints.
This is a cutting-edge natural solution from local medical professionals.
We have a team of medical assistants, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, and physicians that are trained specifically just to do regenerative medicine.
And Dr. Garzone speaks from personal experience. Before joining the QC Kinetics team, he was an actual patient.
I am now pain-free.
You too can get lasting relief from joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hi, this is Travis Cummings of the Ballou Group, and I specialize in working with medium and large companies to ensure their employees get the best benefits possible.
This is John Gall from Borland Groover, and our job is to provide exceptional care for our patients, and Travis Cummings from the Ballou Group has the same goal: provide exceptional benefits and coverage for everyone at Borland Group.
Businesses on the First Coast. Call me, Travis Cummings, at 461-1800, and I'll make sure your employees are well taken care of.
I-9 Sports, flag football, basketball, soccer, and t-ball. Play year-round with co-ed programs ages 3 to 17. Duval, Clay, and St. John's. Enter promo code 1010XL for $5 off. Check out i9sports.com for all the details.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars in their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's best sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the chance to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and much more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 800-79-BET-US and get into the action. Don't forget to mention promo code 1010XL. BetUS, where the game begins.
Hey, it's Jeff Prosser. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? All those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month. Inflation making everything else more expensive. But listen, your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. That means you can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those 23% rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget, and even if your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. Call Loan Pronto now. Unlock that equity and wipe out bad debt. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. So call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
All right, it's another year of college football. It all gets underway. Well, we had week 0. But, of course, tomorrow night, the backyard brawl returns. First time in 11 years. Tim Brando is busy with Fox Sports. He's got games coming up Friday and Saturday. And as always, it's a pleasure to welcome him back. Joining Rick Ballou here on 1010 on the AM, 92.5 on the FM. Timmy B, how you been?
Mr. Ballou, the last of the survivors of Sporting News Radio. My God, how have you done it all this time? Amazing.
There's not many of us left. There's just not.
I know. Listen, it's but you know, today was so incredible flying into Indianapolis and then coming over to Bloomington. I've never done a football game here. I've done a gazillion basketball games through the years, going all the way back, obviously, to the General, Robert Knight back in the 80s. But I've never done a football game here, and I'm excited with Illinois coming in off that win last week. And, either one of these teams, Indiana had a 6-2 team and went into last year's preseason number 17. First time they had been ranked in the top 25 since John Punt went to the Rose Bowl in 1969. And then they laid an egg. They went over in the Big Ten, went 0-9, and 2-10 overall. And Illinois, looks pretty good. DeVito, that was a good Wyoming team they spanked last week. And I think either one of these teams that are thinking about going to a bowl game have to believe they've got to win this game if they're going to have a successful year. So I think there's a lot on the line for them in the Big Ten, either one of these teams. And, of course, tomorrow night, you mentioned the Backyard Brawl, which I'm excited about, too. And I'll tune in a little bit tomorrow night with that. But I'll also watch that Purdue-Penn State game. I think the Purdue-Penn State game is huge for James Franklin. He needs a big win. He needs a signature road win somewhere in the Big Ten. And he's got a lot of guys coming back. Clifford's back. He's a senior quarterback. They need some adrenaline into that program now. And Purdue is riding high with all of these guys returning. And with Brom, one of the best and most, I think, critically acclaimed coaches in the country, still at Purdue and has really got them in a position, you think, to win the West potentially. People think either Purdue or Minnesota could win the West of the Big Ten, but you're not going to do that if you lose at home to Penn State. So I think a lot of good football starting tomorrow, running all the way through Sunday.
No doubt about it. We saw a great one in Dublin in the Big Ten where Nebraska blew a lead and Northwestern came back and won it. As Timmy B said, Penn State, Purdue tomorrow night on Fox. And then Tim Brando on the call on Fox Sports 1 at 8 o'clock coming up on Friday night. It'll be Illinois and Indiana. And you're busy as well. You got a double dose. You got one coming up on Saturday.
Well, you're an old Chicago guy. You remember Ernie Banks. It's Let's Play 2, Timmy B. I got a double dip with Spencer. We're going to hopscotch up to Madison, Wisconsin as soon as our game is over and go at it again on Saturday night. They play Illinois State. It's a really proud FCS program that has played in recent years for FCS titles against North Dakota State. They got the kid that was the backup that was beaten out by Tanner Morgan at Minnesota out of the transfer portal, Annexstad. He's going to come in and be their quarterback. So, they're outmanned, but it could be a competitive game. It's at Camp Randall, and then we'll before it's 10 o'clock at night, I will be at a good Italian bistro in the heart of Madison, enjoying my labors of love with a little bubbly and minestrone. How about that?
Yeah, it sounds good. No doubt about it. Before we get to two of the really big games down south here, let's get away from the politics a little bit, because with you on the eve of everything that's going on, I want it to be football and football only.
Right.
I mean, all the talk, once again, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. I met with Dabo Swinney 6 weeks ago in Charlotte at the ACC meetings. Feels like, maybe that they are going to be back to where they once were. You're always big on a team. Someone else, give me a team. Yeah. Give me one that you can think can pop in there and really make, kind of like what Cincinnati did a year ago.
Well, we got that one right, didn't we? We had them at 4.
You did. I didn't. You did.
At the beginning of the season, and they landed at 4. I picked, and I got to tell you, it came down to 2 teams for me. And one of them, the team that I did not pick to make it, but I think will win the Pac-12, probably have one loss. And I think we'll win the Pac-12, though. And I think rather easily they'll win the Pac-12 is Utah. So Florida, be on alert, okay? Cam Rising and Kyle Whittingham's team is really solid. I know they're banking on the energy of, a new coach and a fresh start and the swamp and, that long flight from the Mountain Time Zone. But, Rick, that team's loaded. I mean, that's the best team in the Pac-12, and I think they're going to win it going away. I think they'll trounce USC when they play them, and they'll get them in Salt Lake City at home. So they're going to be really, really good, and I think Florida will find that out. But I decided to go with Baylor instead, and the reason is because I think in the Pac-12 it's easier to lose a road game. You know, a game you don't expect to lose. The travel is what it is, and there's always a sneaky game that'll jump up and grab you.
Right.
I don't know who that'll be, but I think the Utes might drop a game that they don't expect to drop. I don't think it's going to be the Florida game, though. I don't. But I do think Baylor is loaded. Blake Shapen, the new quarterback, took over for Gary Bohannon. Bohannon transferred, as you know. And there's no doubt in my mind there was a reason for that. Shapen, a Calvary High School star from my hometown in Shreveport, Louisiana, is a big-time arm. And to go along with that defense that Dave Aranda has and a downhill running game, I think Baylor can win every game in the Big 12.
Wow.
I really believe that. They were for the first time in the history of the school, they were picked to win the Big 12 at their media day. First time in history.
Incredible.
So that should tell you something. Oklahoma, as usual, gets all the brand names get the preseason love because of who they are. But Baylor is your team, in my opinion. Now, as far as flies in the ointment, you know, the Cincinnati outside the Power 5 type pick, that team is Houston this year. Houston is this year's Cincinnati. But the problem for Houston is Dana Holgerson doesn't have a game like, you know, Notre Dame on the road, you know, to win that could jettison him in the polls. Toughest game they're going to play on the road is going to be at Texas Tech, which Spencer and I will have next week in Lubbock, which is a precursor to the Big 12. You know, this is their last year, Houston. They are joining along with UCF and Cincinnati into the Big 12. Going to be, I think, a hell of a game next week at Texas Tech between the Cougars and the Red Raiders.
Tim Brando, our guest, he's with Fox Sports. Got a couple of big games coming up this weekend, including Friday night, Illinois and Indiana. All right, you like Utah over Florida. That is, I've heard most say that. What? And you and I have had this conversation for years. It feels like ever since Utah became part of the Pac-12, they've always been the most physical team in that particular conference. Is that what you see being the major difference in the Swamp on Saturday night?
Not really. I think, you know, their defense is good. I mean, it's really, really good. But Florida's got some playmakers. I think Florida will have some success, Rick, offensively. I mean, I've just got too much confidence in Billy Napier and what he does. I know that they'll be competitive. I'm not saying they won't be. Being at home and being in that environment is going to, you know, count for a lot. And it'll keep Florida in the game. The problem they're going to have is an experienced quarterback named Cam Rising. He was an incredible difference maker for them last year. They didn't discover him until the USC game last year, and I had that game. That was right after those two kids, those DBs. You might recall the tragedy that they had on campus that happened before an open date, right before they had to play USC. Their first game after that tragedy was at USC. Cam Rising started that game, and they never looked back. I mean, they were a runaway freight train. Go back and look at that offense in last year's Rose Bowl. Now, granted, Ohio State did not have a vintage Buckeye defense, but it's still Ohio State. They lit them up, and Rising was the reason for that. They got a solid run game. They play great complementary football. They're just athletically very gifted, and he has recruited since going into the Pac. Since they left the Mountain West Conference and moved into the Pac-12, their recruiting just shot through the roof. But because they're in the Mountain Time Zone and because people in the national media don't pay much attention to them because of where they're located geographically, people don't give them the credit that they deserve for being an outstanding program. I mean, they've been, in my opinion, one of the best teams west of the Mississippi for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, Whittingham's been really he's a top 5 coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is a top 5 coach. He took over for Urban, and the beat went on. You know, I mean, think about that. He took over for Urban Meyer's. How many stops since then?
He had one here. I don't know if you heard,
yes,
Kim, but he had one here.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This Cameron Rising, it looks a little bit like the combination of Gardner Minshew and old Arkansas quarterback Matt Jones.
Yeah, it's a great call. Yeah, he's athletic like Jones, and he's got a gunslinger mentality like Minshew. That's a great comparison. I love that. And by the way, I'm a big fan of Gardner's. You know, I had his greatest game in college when he lit up Oregon, and game day was there that night. And he beat a top-flight Oregon team that had Herbert quarterbacking on the other side. So that's a great comparison. Listen, I'm not trying to rain on Billy's opening at Florida. I'm really not. It's hard for me to pick against Napier. I like him that much. He'll be very successful there. And those Florida fans need to get the hell off his rear end, okay, about whatever the hell is bothering them, or they're going to continue to get the reputation that they don't want around the rest of the country.
All right, love it. Timmy Brando, our guest. Let's get to New Orleans on Sunday night. You know, I looked this up.
I was wondering if you were going to bring up that game. I was wondering if
I looked this up because I couldn't believe it. My brother and I and a couple of other of our knucklehead friends, my graduating year, the monsoon in 1991, Florida State knocked off LSU. They lost two starting offensive linemen, Robbie Baker and Kevin Mancini, and they won in a torrential downpour. That was 1991. They have not played since.
I remember when Bobby Bowden at Florida State signed a 4-for-1 deal with LSU. 4-for-1, okay?
Yeah, I just went over it. It's amazing, yeah.
When Florida State was playing at Pitt, it was that year when they played at Pitt, at Ohio State, at Nebraska. Remember that year? It was unbelievable. It was right after, I think, the Wally Woodham, Jimmy Jordan era ended.
Right.
In the 80s. LSU got one win out of that 5-year deal. One win. And that was with Dalton Hilliard and Gary James. You know, that terrific tandem that went to the Orange Bowl that year with Alan Risher at quarterback. They squeezed out one win. But this is a game that I think is a great one to play. And my only problem with it, Rick, is they need to get it the hell out of the dome and do a home and home.
Right.
You know, play at Doak Campbell and play at Tiger Stadium. I remember Bobby telling me, you know, he almost went to LSU in 79. He took his 5-0 team in to play Charlie McClendon's last team at 3-2, and Bobby, as only he could say it, said, "Well, can I, you know, Coach Diesel offered me the job, and I thought, you know what, if I'm 5-0 at Florida State, and I can't beat a 3-2 LSU with Charlie Mack in his last year, well, maybe I need to take the job at LSU. Maybe I need to go there." But you know what? We went into Baton Rouge. Now, they moved the game into the daytime. ABC wanted to put it on the TV. But we went in there, and we got that win. I thought, you know what? We're going to play our games at night just like they do at LSU. I had LSU's entire program in mind when I came there. That's why we played at night at Doak Campbell. We didn't want to play at the same time that Florida was playing, and we wanted to play in the state capitol at night, have those people crazy, all lathered up and liquored up, ready to go. So after they won that game, against LSU in 79, they took off and won a lot of games. Florida State and LSU, both programs in the state capital of their respective states, I just think it's a commonality. It's a perfect non-conference game to keep on the schedule. Florida State physically is a year away from being competitive with an LSU. I think LSU is just too gifted in too many areas, particularly through the transfer portal, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Brian Kelly, from an offensive standpoint, you know, he's got Ben Rock with him, his old offensive coordinator. You're going to have a real problem, I think, dealing with Jaden Daniels.
Right.
And if you have to go with Nussmeier some, he's fine too. Okay, their quarterback room, even when Miles Brennan left, was still very talented. I think LSU, because they are just physically a little bit ahead of Florida State, should win the game. But it's a close game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what are they, a 3-point underdog?
It is.
If that game were in Orlando, maybe Florida State would be a 2-point favorite. But I just think, based on the talent that's there, I'm going to go with LSU to win a close one. But again, where the game's being played has a lot to do with that.
No doubt. Yeah, I've made the same pick. I think Florida's. They didn't make the typical mistakes last week that we're used to seeing them do. It feels like they're getting better, but I just look at talent, and I agree with you. I think LSU has more. We're about out of time now. Brother Bino, my goodness, he's got the backyard brawl tomorrow night, but I know he's going to be in New Orleans.
Unbelievable. The backyard brawl. It's going to wake up the echoes of Don Dalen, Hostetler, and all the other greats that played. Major Harris. They knew all along that the brawl should have never gone away. West Virginia, Pitt, unbelievable that they stopped. They should bring it. The Penn State game should come back regularly, too. They'll do it, and when they do it, it'll all be for the money. It's always for the money. You know that. But it's great to have that one back. But I got a fly in the ointment game for you there. My fly in the ointment, Sonny Cumbie, in his first year, the old Texas Tech quarterback, is now at La Tech. He took over for Skip Holtz. Look for La Tech to cover the number against Mizzou. La Tech take the points against Mizzou.
Ooh, fly in the ointment number 1 from Tim Brando. Fly in the ointment, La Tech the points against Missouri. He's going to be busy again, him along with Spencer Tillman. It is Illinois at Indiana tomorrow. Make that Friday night at 8 o'clock, and then you got one Wisconsin playing host to Illinois State on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm in downtown Bloomington as we speak. Going to meet with the coaches tomorrow, and then go back into the hotel and take in all those great games tomorrow night. And we'll have our engines revved up for Friday. This is Rick. This is the 24th year that Spencer and I have been together in the last 25, either in the studio or at games. And by the way, when we were at CBS, we were doing some NFL games while we were all doing the college football studio. In fact, came to Jacksonville when Brunel got a victory that catapulted Jayville into the number 1 seed in the AFC for the playoffs, you might recall, years ago.
No doubt.
It's great to think about that, a quarter century with the same partner, and I'm blessed to have him with me again.
Wow, he's always great to talk with. A big fan of Spencer Tillman, no question about that. Timmy B, thank you as always. Enjoy yourself in Bloomington, and I know we'll talk next week.
You got it, Rick. Take care, bud.
There he goes, Tim Brando, joining us on the Farah and Farah phone line. That's it. College football has officially begun. You get the combination of Tim Brando and Bino Cook. You know it's on. Philly Godfather, thank you. He took Utah. Tim Brando, thank you. He took Utah. John Osher, thank you. I didn't ask him. He's a Florida crowd. I didn't ask him. We talked all Jaguars. Tomorrow, 6 to 8, live from Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra. Come on out and say hello. Remember, Friday, special show, special time, 3 to 6 on the AM. That'll be 1010 XL. Thank you to JJ. My name is Rick Ballou. You have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow, 6 to 8, live, Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra.